All right, good evening, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the colder air. It is a lot colder from earlier today. As a matter of fact, we had 85 this afternoon, and the cold front moved into San Antonio earlier than expected. It was moving fast, and it moved in right around 2 to 2:30 here in the San Antonio metro, and then now it's farther south, moving towards George West, Beeville, and towards the coastal bend at this hour. It's 8:01 on this Sunday night. If you're just joining us, feel free to comment down below. We're going to be talking about the weather. If you have any questions about specific areas or anywhere across Texas, across the nation, we can always kind of zoom out and show you the bigger picture. If you're traveling anywhere across the country this week, it's going to be busy. Most of the rain for us, though, here in San Antonio and across our local forecast area will probably be between tonight and tomorrow morning, and that's pretty much about it for rain chances and rain coverage. But the bigger story will be even colder air late Halloween night and late Wednesday night. I had to think about when Halloween is. It's Tuesday, and it's coming up. It's around the corner, and Halloween night's going to be cold, and then pre-dawn Wednesday and pre-dawn Thursday going to be cold too. Yes, next Sunday we fall back. Wow. I forgot about that. Oh, man. Yeah, so daylight saving time ends next Sunday, guys. So it feels a lot like fall. And then tomorrow, it's going to be only like 47 for a high temperature. And then next weekend, we push the clocks back. We fall back. We gain an hour of sleep. And that's when sunset will be a lot closer to 5:30. So it's going to affect a lot of us coming up next weekend. Hey there, Diane. Jacob, what are my favorite tacos? Man, for breakfast tacos, either chorizo and egg or bacon and egg, and then I like carne asada too. Those are my favorite tacos. Mr. Jacob asking the questions this evening. I am doing weather tonight, sir, and you also mentioned great bike riding weather. Yeah, I have a mountain bike, and I like to go to Opie-Schnaple. And I like to take advantage of the bike riding weather as well. So yes, sir, Jacob. Yes, sir. Yeah, lots better in the weather, Martin. Yeah, so it's going to get even colder. If you step outside tonight, it's going to be very chilly. The winds aren't helping at all either. They're moving at around 20 to 30 miles an hour at this point in time. And it's even colder across the hill country. We're at 42 in Fredericksburg, 37 at Rock Springs, and 45 at Kerrville. So it is very cold outside. And we also have 70s to the south where the front has yet to push in like Cotulla. It's right on the doorstep of Cotulla and should push into Corpus Christi probably around 9 or 10 p.m. tonight. But you'll notice the contrast between colors, right? Blue, green, light green, yellow, and orange, and you can kind of pick out the line where the cold front is at. Moving through Victoria, Port Lavaca, and right through Beeville and George West across Live Oak County and B County as well. It is very, very cold. Yes, yes, yes. And it's going to get even colder, guys. And as I mentioned, it's a little breezy to windy out there. Wind speeds are moving out around 18 to 20 here in the city. Gusty out near Del Rio and Eagle Pass at 25 to 30 miles an hour. And it's going to remain in this range for the next 24 hours. I don't think wind speeds actually come down until Halloween, so Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. But even then, it's still going to be a little breezy. We're expecting a breezy Halloween night for trick-or-treaters. Skies will clear by Halloween night. That'll be the good news. But with clearing skies, that typically means colder overnights because the cloud cover almost acts as a blanket after the front pushes through. But when you have clear skies, all the heat we get during the day releases out into space, what we call radiational cooling. So late Tuesday night, early Wednesday, coming up on Halloween, will be a very cold overnight. And in the meantime, it is windy. It's going to remain windy through tomorrow morning. So please leave early tomorrow, not just because of the winds. It's going to be cloudy, it's going to be overcast, and it's going to be raining tomorrow morning. Between now and about, let's say, 5 a.m., we're going to see storms develop out west in northern Mexico, near Del Rio, Eagle Pass, and it's all going to move in our direction through the overnight hours, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and we'll show you the futurecast track and what radar may look like in the next several hours in just a moment. But yeah, so windy overnight, windy tomorrow morning, and windy tomorrow night as well. And again, wind speeds don't really come down a notch until likely on Halloween. Okay, today's numbers, guys. It's cold now, right? We're in the lower 50s. We hit 85 earlier this afternoon before the cold front moved in around 2 to 2:30. 85 is way above average. Normal is actually 78, and we are 7 degrees above that. But it shows you that the cold front has really packed a punch. It's helping drop temperatures fast. We're at about 52 in the city right now, 85 earlier today. That means nearly a 25-degree drop in temperatures since 2 o'clock. So in the last 6 hours, temperatures have rapidly fallen, and we love cold fronts. We love cold fronts. Okay, radar, you'll see out west, it's a little bit more active. There is some light rain around San Antonio. We'll zoom in into the north side in just a bit, but I want to show you the breeding ground. So anywhere in the mountains of Mexico off the lee side of the mountain range, moving towards Del Rio and towards Eagle Pass right now. This is where all the rain is going to form, and it's going to move in our direction towards San Antonio, Hondo, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Uvalde, Rock Springs, Bandera County, Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, anywhere on northern San Antonio. We're going to see a lot of rain overnight, and this is where it's going to originate and then propagate and move farther east, northeast towards us between now and about 5 a.m. So the overnight may be a little loud. You may wake up to some thunder and lightning. That's certainly possible. And then tomorrow morning, the bulk of rainfall will happen in the morning. So if you have plans outdoors tomorrow, it's going to be an ugly day. It's going to be gray. It's going to be gloomy, and it will be wet to start. But I say all that because towards the afternoon, I would say after lunchtime, it starts to dry out. There may be a lingering sprinkle after lunchtime, but most of the widespread moderate to heavy rain will happen overnight and through about 9 a.m. scattered to numerous showers, and then again after lunchtime things start to come to an end as high temperatures only max out in the middle 40s. It's going to be a very, very cold day, way colder than average, but this is much needed. We deserve this, right? Because it was one of the warmest summers on record. We had so many triple-digit days back in June, July, August, September. So we deserve this, and very cold weather is expected overnight, plus the rain, plus the storms, and the high temperatures only topping out in the middle 40s tomorrow. It's going to be very cold, very wet, so please plan accordingly. Leave earlier than normal tomorrow morning. You're going to want to account for the potential for traffic buildup and all that, because of course the roads will be slippery, it'll be wet outside, it'll be cold, it'll be windy, and everyone's going to be in a rush at the same time. So please plan accordingly and leave a little extra early tomorrow morning to get where you're going, if that's school, if that's work, if that's plans with family. Again, leave a little earlier tomorrow because it's going to be tricky, cold, wet, and windy tomorrow. Yes, very cold in Utah. Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Mom. That's my mom right over there. Thank you, ma'am. She lives in Ogden, Utah, so a lot farther than San Antonio. And you can see, I have a national map. Let's see. I have a national map. Give me a second, guys. I'm curious of what the temperature is farther north into Utah. If you have any friends or family in other states, let me know, because we can always look at the continental U.S. and see what the temperature is everywhere else. It's always nice to see, because if it's cold here in San Antonio, if it's cold in Texas, you know it's a lot colder up farther north into Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, Utah. You know it's a lot colder up farther north. Let's see, national temperatures. I have it right here. Okay, give it 1 second to load. Let's see, so that was that, and then let's see, bear with me, guys. So that's the national map. Here we go. It is loading right now. All right, excuse me, and let's see. And it's loading with the data, and yeah, look at that. So Salt Lake City at 39. All right, Michael says Colorado Springs. I mean, it's below freezing anywhere along the Rocky Mountains. I'm not seeing any of the data pop up for Colorado Springs, but that's south of Denver. But if Denver's at 23, Colorado Springs is probably right around that area, right around that range of middle 20s. So that is a very cold air mass that is moving through the Central Plains as we speak. Zooming out, showing you the bigger picture, you can see that gradient, right? That contrast in colors between South Central Texas all the way to the Midwest. It is a very large and strong polar air mass that is just spilling across the plains. Really, really cool. North Dakota, let's see, from Mari. So North Dakota, again, some of the cities aren't going to pop up. These are just kind of one or two cities here and there. But notice in South Dakota at Rapid City, 22, and about the same in North Dakota. So right in the lower 20s, 10 degrees below freezing. It is very cold in that part of the country. How much rain are we going to get over the next couple days? So I'll show you the exact forecast. But just to answer your question, likely around a ½ inch to about 2 inches of rain between now and tomorrow morning. So localized pockets could see up to 2 inches of rain, but around the metro, on average, I would say ½ inch to 1 inch of rain around San Antonio, but it depends on where exactly these storms set up and where exactly they drop the heavy amounts of rain and how far they build into the atmosphere. Okay, very cold here in Idaho. Oh man. Yeah, Boise's at 41. You'll see the West Coast, the closer you are to water, the faster your air temperature is regulated by the temperature of the water. Now, the ocean current along the West Coast is a cold ocean current, but because of there's so much moisture, there's so much humidity along the western coast of the U.S., there's a lot of evaporation, and that keeps temperatures mild in the California area. You can see it's at 69, and actually the mountains in California almost act as a barrier. You can kind of see that on the national temperature graphic. But yeah, big story. It's pretty much anywhere from Nevada to the Dakotas, Central Plains, and this is all going to move farther east. So if you're watching from the Carolinas or the Northeast or anywhere from Ohio, Indiana, New York, this is all moving in your direction, and of which will probably generate more rain for you than it is going to be for us overnight here in San Antonio. So we'll talk about that coming up. Do you see us having a bad winter? You know, when we talk about long-range forecasting like months in advance, we look at long-range patterns, and a very pivotal long-range pattern is El Nino and La Nina in the Pacific Ocean. Now, when you're in a La Nina pattern, that typically means drier and slightly warmer winters, specifically here in Texas, but it varies across the world and specifically across the nation as well. But we're in an El Nino, and what that means for Texas specifically during the months of December and more into January and February, it means wetter than average and colder than average. So if I had to specify, you know, our winter in a couple of words, it'll likely be wetter and colder than last winter. And last winter wasn't bad. We had a few cold snaps last winter, but it wasn't terrible. I remember back in February, we saw temperatures below freezing for a while. But yeah, El Nino has a strong pull and a strong influence on our local weather here in San Antonio and across Texas. So again, El Nino is in effect across the Pacific, and what that means for Texas in our area is wetter and colder temperatures through the winter months, December, January, and February. Will we have storms overnight tonight in SA? Yes. So if you're just joining us, we were just talking about the national temperatures. Overnight storms. So here it is. We're going to time this out for you. Late tonight through Monday morning, and the timestamp is in the upper right-hand corner. And I'll probably cycle between this screen I'm on now and this right here. So I'll go full screen. Sorry about that. I'll go from double screen, double boxes, to full screen, just to kind of give you a better look at everything. So by about midnight, before we talk about this, I want to show you radar right now. If you're just joining us, we talked about this earlier, but right now just some light rain in northern San Antonio, drizzle, some sprinkles, that's about it. But notice out west, there's a lot of storms forming. They're overrunning this cold air mass at the surface, so they're lifting, and that's creating strengthening showers and storms. We're not expecting anything severe, but this is creating a pretty good setup for heavy rain overnight. With that being said, fast forwarding the clock. So again, timestamp in the upper right-hand corner, guys. You'll see at midnight tonight, still mostly dry in the city, but anywhere from Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Uvalde, Hondo, moderate to heavy rain, some of which could be lightning at times. Light rain through Monday morning, 7, 8, 9 a.m., And this could cause a few spots of high water areas. If you're in an area prone to flooding, this could certainly cause a problem, just a very minor problem. So that's why I suggest leave a little earlier tomorrow to go to work, to go to school, wherever you're going tomorrow morning, because it will be wet and it will be damp, it will be windy, and it will be cold, all the above. But main takeaway, bulk of rain, heaviest downpours, the highest potential for storms. Not expecting severe, but you may see some lightning and hear some thunder overnight. The best timing for that will be between about 10 p.m. and about 5 a.m., mainly in the overnight hours. You'll see by tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., just after sunrise, it'll be overcast, it'll be cold and windy, and it will be wet. And after lunchtime, most of this rain comes to an end. Tomorrow night, we may see a lingering light shower, maybe a sprinkle. But that's about it. We're not expecting much after lunchtime tomorrow. So the bulk of rainfall happening tomorrow morning. I want to fast forward this. Late tomorrow night and early Tuesday, it'll be cloudy. On Halloween, it'll start to clear out, likely after lunchtime as well. The clouds will move farther south. We'll see some sunshine on Tuesday. Highs will be in the 50s on Halloween. And then Halloween night, you're probably wondering, what's the weather going to be like? It's going to be cold. It's going to be breezy. Wind speeds will still be in that range of 15 to 25 miles an hour. So this is Halloween night, 7 p.m., 52 degrees. Here's Halloween night, 8 p.m., 50 degrees. And then added that northeast breeze, around 20 miles an hour. It's going to feel even colder than that. Halloween night at 9 p.m., 48. And Halloween night at 10 p.m., about 46. I don't think anyone's going to stay out that late because it's a school night. It's a weekday, but it's going to be cold. So lower 50s to mid 40s for Tuesday night for Halloween for trick-or-treaters. So if you have kids, if you have friends or family going out for trick-or-treating Tuesday night, it's going to be cold. Wear a couple layers. They're going to need it. And I want to fast forward it even more because until Wednesday morning early, so late Halloween night into pre-dawn Wednesday before sunrise, there's a small possibility our hill country counties reach at or slightly above freezing. Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Rock Springs, Bandera County, anywhere northwest of Boerne are going to dip down into the middle to possibly lower 30s Wednesday morning. And I know a lot of folks always wonder about that because a lot of folks like to garden and are worried about their plants if they should cover them. I don't think anywhere in our area will reach 32 degrees or colder this week in the overnights and the morning hours. We'll get close in the hill country. San Antonio for sure will be above freezing all this week. We're not expecting freezing temperatures in the city. But big takeaway, heads up for Fredericksburg, Kerrville, and anywhere across Gillespie County, Kirk County, Kendall County, and Bandera County. Early Wednesday morning out of the next 7 days. Early Wednesday is going to be the coldest. So 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., early Wednesday, likely middle to possibly lower 30s across the hill country pre-dawn Wednesday. But I will say from what we're seeing, most of the models are saying most of the widespread freeze will be across the Panhandle Wednesday morning and farther north into Oklahoma, Colorado, farther north into the plains. I don't think we'll have to worry about that just yet here in our area. Likely in November and December, that's typically when we see our first freeze in our region. How much rain are we looking at? I know someone asked about this earlier. On average, half an inch to an inch. Lower totals southeast of San Antonio, south of I-10. Higher totals anywhere from Maverick County to Uvalde, Honda. There will be a large swath of rain tomorrow and overnight that moves in from the southwest, from Mexico towards the northeast, towards San Antonio and Austin. So there will be a gradient where a lot of areas to the south won't get a lot of rain, but around San Antonio, Boerne, Kerrville, San Marcos, Austin, we could pick up to 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain in the next 12 to 24 hours. Excuse me. And yeah, after lunchtime tomorrow, if you're just joining us, best rain chance tomorrow will be in the morning hours, overnight tonight to about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then after 12 or 1 o'clock, it starts to dry out, but it will remain cloudy, cold, and windy tomorrow, highs only in the middle 40s. So here's a 7-day. Before we get to that, I want to make sure I'm asking, what is the pollen count like? So last time I checked it, molds were very heavy, and that's typically how it unfolds this time of year once it gets colder and, more importantly, more wet, because we've seen rounds of rain last several days. Last I checked, pollen, the only allergen on the count is mold, and that was very heavy, over 10,000 last time I saw it. Let me double check. I think I can pull it up right here. It is the 29th of October. So molds have gone down. So this is today's pollen count. I'm just reading it off right now. 3 allergens are present in the pollen count today: molds, ragweed, and grass. Ragweed and grass, light, not a huge problem, but molds are heavy, over 1,600 on the count. And that's from our allergist. We get data in from her every single day. So yeah, if you're sneezing, it's probably the allergens, probably the mold to be specific. And when you get cold fronts like this in the fall and the winter, the winds, the colder air is drier and the wind speeds are moving faster, and that'll typically circulate the pollen and get that going, and that's probably why you're sneezing, and it's because of the pollen and the wind speeds moving a little faster behind this cold front. Need to work at 3 tonight. No, that's not good. Yeah, it's going to be rainy and cold and windy overnight, Grace, so please be safe out there. You think the storms out west will dissipate? No. I think the storms out west right now in northern Mexico, between Del Rio and Eagle Pass, they're only building, and they're going to move towards San Antonio in the overnight. I think this overrunning pattern is only going to help these rain showers and storms. We're not expecting anything severe overnight, but numerous showers and storms are expected through Monday morning, and that's why Monday is going to start off wet, cold, and windy. Wind speeds 25 to 35 miles an hour all day long tomorrow, so it's going to be very, very windy. John, any storms for Victoria tonight? I don't think so. If you're watching from Victoria or anywhere from George West, Beeville to Corpus Christi towards the Texas coast, I think you may see a few showers overnight, but nothing like what we're going to see here in San Antonio and towards the Hill Country and up towards Austin and Central Texas. That's where the heaviest rain is going to be overnight. All right. Yes. Loving this colder weather. Yes, and you're welcome, Michael, of course. And thank you, Grace. Thank you, of course. You're welcome. And you're welcome, Linda. Thanks for joining in. Before we go, I just want to show you the temperature one more time. Today, if you're just joining, we hit a high temperature of 85 this afternoon. That was around 1:30, 2 o'clock. The cold front moved through San Antonio between 2 and 2:30. And from 85 for a high to right now in the city at 52, that's nearly a 25-degree drop in temperatures over about 6 hours. It's 45 in Helotes, 45 at Bernie, 44 at Kerrville, colder in Fredericksburg at 42, Rock Springs at 37, Del Rio at 48. You can actually kind of pick out where the cold front's at. It's moving south of George West and Beeville towards Corpus Christi and towards San Patricio County, Nueces County, and towards Alice and the Coastal Bend and towards Port Lavaca as well. So that's a look at temperatures, guys, and maybe I could show you what the surface map looks like before we go. I might have to update this because the front's not all the way through Corpus yet, and if it is, it's just moving through. I have to adjust this real quick. There we go. So it's moving through Houston, but Houston's at 64 degrees right now. It's near freezing in Amarillo, 38 in Albuquerque, and it's even colder in Colorado. We just checked that earlier in the stream. Denver's like at 23 degrees right now, and similar across the state of Colorado. So very, very cold out there this evening. Any rain for Cotulla? Yeah, you may see a few showers overnight in Cotulla, Carrizo Springs, I-35 area. But again, heaviest downpours, heaviest rain overnight will be north of Cotulla and north of Carrizo Springs. Between San Antonio, the Hill Country, between Del Rio and Austin, that's the swath of rain I'll show you right here. If you're just joining us, we're expecting rain overnight behind this cold front. And that's kind of the big takeaway. The heaviest rain from Del Rio to Uvalde to Hondo to San Antonio to Austin. About 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, localized pockets even more, up to maybe 3. But anywhere near Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, Pleasanton, anywhere south of Bexar County and south of Medina County towards I-35, you'll see a few showers overnight, maybe a few storms, but the heaviest amount of rain through tomorrow morning will be here in San Antonio towards the Hill Country and up towards Austin and out west towards Del Rio. One more thing. Tomorrow's timeline, middle 40s, cold, rainy, most of the rain tomorrow morning. After lunchtime, it dries out. It'll be a cloudy, cold, and windy day, but again, bulk of rainfall tomorrow morning and trending drier in the afternoon, so something to keep in mind. Anything else? Von Ormy, yeah, so south side of San Antonio, probably going to see some good rain, and temperatures right around 42 overnight for Von Ormy. Scattered showers, a few storms possible for Von Ormy overnight, Mr. Joe. And then for Halloween, middle upper 40s. By Tuesday afternoon, it'll clear out for Halloween. That'll be the good news. Highs Halloween day, upper 50s. By 8, 9, 10 p.m., though, likely upper 40s. So it's going to be a night where temperatures drop fast. It's going to be a quick falling temperature. And then by trick-or-treat time, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m., likely around 50 to the upper 40s here in the San Antonio metro. So it's going to get cold very fast. And fun fact, warmest Halloween on record back in 97, 89 degrees. Coldest Halloween on record back in 1923. Those are the high temperatures for the Halloween climatology. Now, on Tuesday for Halloween, we'll likely be in the upper 50s. So it won't be the coldest Halloween on record, but we were pretty close. And the wettest ever on record was back in 1896. That's a long record. That's an old record. Almost 2 inches of rain on that day in history. And normal high this time of year is about 78 degrees. Oh, proud of you. I know I tucked it in, Jillian. Yeah, I know. Please dance like that mummy. Maybe later. Not right now. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of everybody. Yeah, we'll leave it on the 7-day forecast a little longer, guys. In the meantime, if you are working tomorrow, leave early. It's going to be cold. I wish I could just stay home tomorrow. It's going to be a perfect day to just sit at home and relax and watch movies. 47 degrees, windy, rainy. And again, most of the rain tomorrow will happen in the morning and towards the afternoon. It'll be dry, but it will remain cloudy and overcast. Cold and windy, and then by Wednesday morning, upper 30s, likely near 33 to 34 for the hill country, pre-dawn Wednesday, and same thing for pre-dawn Thursday. It's going to be a cold stretch of overnights as high temperatures rebound back into the 70s and near 80 by Friday and Saturday, so get ready for that. Thank you for the support, Jillian. I appreciate it, and I will not dance like the mummy, not right now. There's not even enough camera space for me to do that, I can't even do that right now. Jillian, you're cold though. Yeah, it's chilly. I mean, it was 85 this afternoon. It's now 52, 25 degree drop in temperatures in the last several hours. How bad will it be, Alan? I would say tomorrow morning, again, leave early. Here's kind of what it will look like overnight. So we talked about this earlier, colder air, north winds near 30 miles an hour. It's going to be windy. And I would say between about midnight and 5 a.m., the bulk of rainfall tomorrow morning, 7, 8, 9 a.m., pockets of moderate to heavy rain. And after lunchtime, this rain thins out and we dry out and temperatures remain in the middle 40s all day long. It's going to be a cloudy day. But again, big takeaway, most of the heavy rain overnight and showers moving out by Monday afternoon after lunchtime. Early Wednesday morning, late Tuesday night, skies clear, just in time for Halloween, but early Wednesday morning, we could see some areas in the hill country like Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Kirk County, Gillespie County, get down to about 33 to 32 degrees briefly early Wednesday morning, so something to keep in mind. Do we need to keep tabs on, if you're watching from the hill country, Alan, I would definitely keep tabs on it. Right now, the freezing line looks like it'll dip as far south as like the panhandle of Texas. But there's a possibility early Wednesday morning, not overnight tonight. Overnight tonight, we stay in the 40s. But late Tuesday night, late Halloween night into early Wednesday, temperatures fall fast, skies clear, and in the hill country, there's a possibility at a very brief freeze near Kerrville and Fredericksburg and Rock Springs early Wednesday morning. But we'll keep tabs on it. Right now, I do think the more widespread freeze will be way farther north into the Panhandle and into Colorado, Oklahoma, Kansas, anywhere farther north of Texas. That's where we're expecting more of a freeze early Wednesday. In the meantime, overnight tonight, 40s, cloudy, storms overnight. Tomorrow morning will be in the lower 40s, and the rain should come to an end after lunchtime tomorrow afternoon. So get ready for that. It will be so cold. Yes, sir. It's going to be very, very chilly. What time will it pour tomorrow morning? Between 5 a.m. and about 10 a.m. is the window we're looking at for rain tomorrow morning. And then after lunchtime, once again, rain will start to dissipate and thin out. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy. It's going to be gray, gloomy, and cold. But most of the rain will happen tomorrow morning between 5 a.m. and about 10 a.m. So heads up for you, Miss Sarah. And that's about it. We'll leave it on. We'll just take a look at radar before we go. It's 8:30. So we have some, let's see, stop the clock. We have some light rain moving into Bandera and northern portions of Medina County. Just some light sprinkles between Helotes and Bernie. But notice we have some storms out west, and all this activity is going to move in our direction overnight. So between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., storms in the San Antonio area and across the hill country. Between here, Del Rio, Austin, another round of rain and storms. And then again, after lunchtime tomorrow, the rain will thin out with highs in the 40s tomorrow for your Monday. So lots going on, but tomorrow will be our best chance at rain. Overnight will be our best chance at rain. Then skies start to clear. We get sunny, but yeah, the overnights are going to be very cold early Wednesday and early Thursday morning, likely in the 30s here in our area. All right, yeah, make sure you take the kids to the bus stop quick and safely. I would say safely, more importantly. Yeah, it's going to be wet tomorrow morning. It's going to be windy. I would dress in layers. We're going to be in the lower 40s in San Antonio tomorrow morning, around 41 to 42, and with a 47-degree high temperature for tomorrow afternoon and a high near 54 on Tuesday. 70s and 80s waiting for us by the end of the week for Friday and Saturday. So have a wonderful night, guys. Stay warm. It's going to be cold overnight. You may hear a rumble of thunder. You may see a flash of lightning because there will be storms moving through overnight in the San Antonio area between here, the hill country. A couple of heavy downpours will be possible tomorrow morning. So umbrella, jacket, layers, rain boots, everything you need tomorrow morning. I would make sure you have it right now before you get out tomorrow because it is going to be busy. You know how it is here in San Antonio. When it rains and it gets cold, it gets difficult driving on the highways, on the interstates. So please leave early tomorrow morning. Drive safe, stay warm, and have a wonderful night. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jill. Hope you have a wonderful evening and stay warm out there tomorrow. Going to be a cold and wet Monday.